Darbar Sahib Jio Salok Sant Udran Dayalang Asarang Gopal Kirtana Nirmalang Sant Sangen Ot Nanak Parameshwara Chandan Chand na Sard Rut Mool na Mittai Kaam Seetal Thiva Nanaka Japandadu Har Naam Paudi चरण कमल की ओट उदरे सगल जन सुन प्रताप गोविंद निर्भव भै मन टोट न आवे मूल संचिया नाम धन संत जना स्यो संग पाइये वड्डा पुन आठ पहर हर ध्याए हर जस नित सुन संत जना स्यो संग पाइयै वड्डा पुन आठ पहर हर ध्याए हर जस नित सुन वाहेगुरु जी का खालसा वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह संगत जी. Today's Pavan Pavitra Hukamnama Sahib from Sachkhand Sri Harmandir Sahib has been blessed to us by Dhan Sri Guru Arjun Dev Ji Garib Nawaz Sache Paatshah Ji on Ang 709. Guru Arjun Dev Ji Sache Paatshah Ji within this beautiful Hukamnama today is saying to us Salok Sant Udran Dayalang Sant Udran Dayalang. They're saying that a saint is that whose heart is filled with compassion, and because of their hearts being filled with compassion, what comes from that compassion is Udran. They save people. They save those that are drowning in their egos, those that are drowning in their anxieties, those that are drowning in all of their worries. Sangat ji, Sant asal vich oh ha. That's who a Sant is. Somebody that is suffering, somebody that is in pain. Just yesterday I was sharing in a presentation that how the Dalai Lama actually describes what compassion is for him. And it really touched my heart. And he said compassion for him is to want to see and eliminate the suffering of somebody's mind. When you see somebody suffering and you want to eliminate that suffering for them. That is that emotion, that powerful emotion inside of us. And a Sant truly is that, a saint is that whose heart is filled with compassion. And when anyone that is suffering, when they hear of somebody suffering, is what happens inside of them. That inside automatically starts to bubble of wanting that pain to be eradicated, from wanting that pain to be taken away, that suffering to be taken away from them. So that is the heart of a saint. And then Guru Arjan Dev Ji Paat Ji say, Kende Asarang Gopal Kirtana. Kende, what is one of the ways that the Sant actually takes away somebody's suffering? When somebody's so stuck in their own head, when they can't get out of, when they're drowning in attachment, when they're so filled with hankar, when they're so filled with pride, because these are, when we're stuck in any of these, That is the suffering. The suffering is when we're living with anger, and we even go to the extent to just think that this is me now. Sangatji, that's like saying that putting on a certain mask and then starting to believe that is your actual face. When we start to identify ourselves with anger, to say that yes, I'm just an angry person, that's not actually the truth. Yes, you may have fallen into a habit where now even your body, where even all of the cells within your body have been trained in that way, programmed now in that way to whatever situation is there, that it's reacting in anger because you've done it so many times. But that doesn't actually define you and your actual ability. And to say that that is it forever, that you're stuck there, that is like saying that you're wearing a mask and now you just can't remove it and you can't take that off. But it can be taken off. Yes, it might take some effort, but coming back, a sant is that whose heart is filled with compassion. Sangatji, that alone is so powerful. When you're in the actual company of somebody and you can actually feel and experience that emotion inside of them. You're going through some form of suffering, but the truth is there's many people that are around us. That Satguru Ji Paat Ji say. And when we look at Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Paat Ji's beautiful Bani, and they say to us, Kande Jagat mein jhoothi dekhi preet. They say, within this world I've seen the love to be false. And then they explain that. Why is it that they've experienced? They sing that apne hi sukh syo sab lage. They're saying that they've seen that people are so involved, so entangled in their own pleasure. In even when somebody might be actually going through anxiety, and those of you that have experienced or do experience going through episodes of living with anxiety, what happens? That even your own partner, even your own family, that they want you to get better, but it's not always. Their whole focus and their energy isn't because they're in pain of seeing you like that. It could be, I'm not saying it's not, but there's many of times when it's like this too. When they're actually thinking, I want my life back to normal. I'm not judging anyone here, I'm not putting anyone down here, I'm just explaining the reality of certain situations in life. And it's not that they want you to hurry up and get better because they're in pain seeing you in that way. And when they're in pain, when somebody's in pain due to somebody else's pain, that's called empathy. But compassion is much greater and more powerful. Compassion is that when you want to eradicate that pain inside of somebody else. Compassion is so powerful. And Sangatji, but there's many situations that people are in within their own homes, that within their own partners, and that's why Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is saying apne hi sukh syo sab lage, that there's so many people that are completely indulged, just completely entangled in their own pleasures and their own what they want out of life. So they want you to get better so that they can continue and they don't have to alter their life in any form of way. So it's not actually compassion, it's actually selfishness. And this is what Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is saying here. They're saying, apne hi sukh syo sab lage, kya dara kya meet. They're saying, whether it be your dara, whether it be your partner, meet, whether it be your friend. Because there's many friends as well. There's many friends as well that they find it then difficult to accept that change that somebody has gone through. Saying from being somebody so chirpy and just normal, and then all of a sudden somebody goes through a change in life. They go from being that person to being so taken over by anxiety and worries in life. And then they're thinking, where's my friend gone? And it's not it's not always the pain that they feel or wanting to eradicate that suffering that you're going through, but they can't accept the change, and it's different for them. It's not what they want out of that relationship anymore. So they want you to get better, but it's because they are losing out, they feel, or missing out on something, or it's had to alter their life. So they want their life back. Sangatji, but that's not actually there. But this isn't judging those, because if we've got true love in our hearts, and if we're experiencing something like that, so for example, if we are the ones that are suffering with anxiety and we see that somebody else is struggling with that change, because they don't come with a special guidebook when they're born to say, well, when you get into this situation with a friend, then this is what you do. And that's the thing with life, and that's why we can't judge anybody. That's why we can't actually look down on anyone and laugh at them, or as Bhakt Kabir Ji say, that Kabir garb na kijiye. Bhakt Kabir Ji say, let's have a look at this. Kehte Kabir garb na kijiye, rank na hasiye koe. Kabir Ji saying, look, don't have this pride inside of yourself. So today we might be making the judgment on somebody else to say, look, I can't believe how selfish they are. But we don't know when it is going to be that we're going to be there, and because they've not been taught that. And it's understanding everyone for where they are, so it's not judging that person as well. Remember, just because they are struggling with us now, just because they have altered, it doesn't mean our love has to change for them. It doesn't mean now we treat them any differently because they're not understanding and they want their life back. So Sangat Ji, coming back to what Guru Arjun Dev Ji Sache Paatshah Ji saying, that Sant Udran Dayalang Asrang Gopal Kirtaneh, that truly to have that compassion when your inside emotion is completely dedicated, that you want their suffering to be gone. That in itself, when somebody's in the company of that vibration, when you're feeling that, is so powerful and so healing in itself before you go any further to any other place. And then Sadhguru Ji Paatshah Ji kehn lage, kende nirmalang sant sangen, kende nirmalang sant sangen. What does it even mean to be in the company of a saint? It means that one day we started off and we began like this, but today that Sant has made me pure from inside. The Sant has started to cleanse my inside. It's like you're going on a cleanse. Somebody cleanses their face, their skin. Somebody cleanses their inside, their body, their stomach. And the same cleansing at the moment. But Sangat Ji, a Sant is that who puts you through a cleansing process of your mind. When we first come to a Sant will be able to observe us and see what we're all about. I remember in the house of Guru Nanak, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Sache Paatshah Ji told us very clearly who a Sant actually is. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Paatshah Ji said, Kende teesar roop sikh hai mor. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Paatshah Ji kende, my third form, my first form being that I am that formless, and the second being the word of the Guru. The third, Sangat Ji, the third being, they said my Gurseks, but not any Gursek. Which Gursek? Kende teesar roop sikh hai mor, Gurbani rat jeh nisapor. Kende those that are imbued and drenched in the word of this Gurbani, the Guru's word. Sangat Ji, when that is a Sant in the house of Guru Nanak, a Sant is that jina saas gras na visre, har nama man mant, Tan se sei nanka puran soi sant. Kende, a true complete saint is that doesn't forget Vaheguru Ji for even one breath. Jina saas gras na visare. Sangat ji, when we come into the company of such a saint, we might, just like Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paat Ji say to us in Sri Jap Bani, they say, Sunaya Siddh Peer Surnath, Sunaya Tart Taval Akas. Maaf karna, it's in the other second pauri of the Sunaya Panktiyan. Sunaya Isar Burma in Sunaya Mukh Salahan Mand. Sunaya, dekho pyare Guru Nanak Dev Ji ki kende. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paat Ji saying ke sunaya, those that actually start to listen truly, those that truly listen to their Guru. And a sant is that has the Guru instilled inside of them. They have nothing but the Guru's Bani inside of them. When you are in the company of those, what happens when you truly listen to what they are saying, how they are guiding us through the Guru's Bani? Sunaya, and then what will happen? Sunaya Isar Burma, Sunaya Mukh. What used to come out of this mouth before? Sunaya Mukh Sala Mand. Mand means dirt. Where dirt used to come out of this mouth before, where this mouth was full of swears, full of disgusting words, full of bitterness, full of speaking down at others and reminding them of who I am. Sunaya Mukh. And then what happens when we're in the company of a saint? When we truly listen to that saint though. Sunaya Mukh Salahan Mand. We start to, our tongue starts to praise Vaheguru Ji. Everything twists and changes. We start to become cleansed from inside. That dirt that was sitting in the mind. Because the dirt starts there within the mind. Satguru Ji Paat Ji tell us. Kende man ka sutak lobh hai. Kende first it starts in the mind. The sutak, the impurity is in the mind first. Man ka sutak lobh hai. When greed takes over your mind, when you're not satisfied in your life and you want more and more, then Sache Paat Ji say, Kende man ka sutak lobh hai, jehva sutak kood. Kende, but that sutak, that impurity will not remain in your mind. From your mind it will travel to your tongue. And then you will speak in that way. Your whole speech will be revolved around greed and wanting more and putting other people down because you want to remain in your situation, in your where your place, your status. But Satguru Ji Sunaya Mukh Salahan Mand. Sangat Ji, the truth is, every time we read Gurbani in the morning, the truth is that we're doing sang. We're in the company of our Guru. Being in the company of a saint, if we're not able to be around such pyare, such beloved, such beautiful Gurmukhs that are drenched in the Guru's word. But the truth is we're doing Sangat of the Guru every time we read Gurbani. So the truth is, as we are reading Gurbani, if we're truly taking Gurbani in, then Sunaya Mukh Salahan Mand. Then the truth is that tongue that was speaking mand, dirt before, disgusting words were coming out of this mouth, Sunaya Salahan, then it transforms into Salah, into praise, into speaking. Mit bolda ji har sajjan Swami Mura. And then you know that Sajjan, that true companion, Vaheguru Ji that sits inside of us, will start to speak through us. Sabh kat Ram bole, Rama bole, Ram bina ko bole re. Paat is saying that within each and every heart is resounding the sound of that one of Vaheguru. But when we drop our ego, then that one will speak through us. And as that one speaks through us, what will those words be filled with? Paat is saying the har mit bolda ji, har sajjan swami mit bolda ji, har sajjan swami mora, oh kade na bole kauda, ho sammad thakki ji, oh kade na bole kauda. Paat is saying that then sweetness will be upon your tongue. That's what it means to truly read Guru Bani in the morning. It means we get transformed, because we start off a certain way, but when we're in the, if we truly are in the company, if we're truly in the company of the Guru, if we're listening, then sunaya, completely attentive, then then we'll go through the true cleansing process. The mind will be cleansed. That dirt that was sitting inside of it. Ot Nanak Parmeshwara, Guru Arjun Dev Ji Pacha Ji ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ the saints give us what? They give us the ot, the support of Parmeshwar, of Vaheguru Ji that is sitting inside of us. Chandan Chandana Sardarot, Pacha saying that some people think that if they make paste out of sandalwood, that will give them inside that inner peace. Chand, if they wait for that full moon night, then that full moon night is going to give them that inner peace. They think that if I go and travel out to somewhere where it's cool, then they think that maybe that if I'm in that cool breeze, that is going to give me that inner peace, andarli thand, that where I feel soothed from inside and calm. But Pacha Ji कहने मूल ना मिटे काम, it's not these things that take away your inner burning and all these desires and greed that you have sitting inside of you. Pacha Ji कहने सीतल थी वह नानका जपंदड़ो हर नाम. The only way for you to become Sital, to become truly cool and serene from inside, is how? Japandado Haranam, is when you meditate on the name of God. And that is what a saint actually gets us to do, is to have the name of God upon our tongue instead of our mind being rattling and going around our own ego. Paudi Charan Kamal ki ot udre sagal jan. Then Sangat Ji, when we've got the name of God upon our tongue, within our mind, within our heart, Charan Kamal ki ot, then constantly we only take then the support of that lotus feet of Vaheguru Ji that sits inside of us. Udre sagal jan. And they said so many people, so many servants are saved in that way when they take the support of Vaheguru. Sur Pratap Govind, listening to the glory of that one. Nirpao pe man, the mind becomes fearless. Tot na aave mool, then there is no shortcomings in their life. Sanchya naam tan, when they accumulate the name of God. Sant janasyo sang, in the company of the true saints, of those true servants of God, of the Guru. Paye vadde pun, we reach their company with great fortune. It's a huge thing to be sitting amongst those that are drenched in the Guru's word. Aat pair har dhyaye, Sangat Ji, har jas nit sone, and actually doing the Sangat of a Sant. What will happen to us? Aat pahar, 8 sections of the day, meaning all the time, with every breath, every moment, we'll be meditating on God. Har jas nit sona, and we'll be listening to the praise of that one constantly. So Sangat Ji, forgive me for all the mistakes that I've made. Take me as your brother, your little child, son, and Sangat Ji, let's do Ardas to Satguru Ji Garib Niwaz Sache Paatshah Ji, that Hey Paatshah Ji, when let me truly be in the company of my Guru when I read Guru Bani, or truly be in the company of those saints that are drenched in the Guru's word, so that I can have that inner cleansing bath. So Sangat Ji, and I can be transformed from being full of ego, arrogant, bitter, to becoming sweet and connecting with you, and that you, Vaheguru Ji, becomes my true and only support. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru